Megan, and today I'm here to bring you a review of the Proustopia Book Club pick of the month for the month of May. And this month we are reading The Trials of Apollo, The Dark Prophecy, Book 2 by Rick Riordan. And this month we are doing a paid promotion with Disney-Hyperion. Oh my god, guys. I loved this book. To be fair though, I didn't expect not to love this book because I have read every single Rick Riordan book that he's ever written and loved every single one, so this was no exception. This particular series I have a soft spot for before I even jump into the review because I feel like this book is the perfect melding between Percy Jackson Series 1 and Percy Jackson Series 2. We have all the character cameos that we could ever want and character growth that we see in Percy Jackson Series 2 mixed with kind of the lighter, more fun, funnier like narrative of Percy Jackson 1. Not that Percy Jackson Series 2 is not funny, but like this book is just probably the funniest thing I've read, and so I laugh out loud reading this entire series the whole time. Anyway, I am like spewing on with no directions. Let's just go ahead and jump into the review. So this particular series by Rick Riordan follows Apollo, the god, but Zeus cast him down from Mount Olympus as he's angry at him and turns him into a mortal 16-year-old boy named Lester who has acne and a driver's permit. From here, he has to go on an adventure to retain his godhood by kind of like solving this mystery of the oracles. There is a problem with prophecy going on in this world, and as you know, Apollo is the god of prophecy, music, and the sun, so it's kind of in his alley. However, he kind of doesn't have any of his powers anymore. He also teams up with a character named Meg, who makes a contract with him at the beginning of the first book and becomes his master, and we follow her and Apollo as they try to solve this entire mystery. I say her and Apollo, but they're also joined by a myriad of our favorite characters along the way, for short cameos, for longer cameos, and we also meet a myriad of new characters that are just as amazing and awesome, and I love them all. Okay, that's what this book is about. The second book starts off right where the first book ended. Apollo is now with Leo and Calypso, which, can we just talk about that for a second? Like, I love Leo, and the fact that we get a whole book with Leo Valdez just completely made me so happy. And Calypso as a character I was so excited to see more of, especially in relation to Leo, because that happened so at the end of another series, so to kind of see them together was so nice. We follow them as they trek across the United States because they need to stop the now back alive Roman Empire emperors and also, you know, meet the oracles along the way. Apollo as a main character and as a narrator is absolutely my favorite thing that has happened in a while. He is so funny. He has the perspective, like I've mentioned a lot, of a god, so he's very used to things just kind of like happening for him and just having kind of irrational logic and being rather full of himself, so you kind of get that narrative, and you also get all of his godly flashbacks of like, well, you know, they should be doing that to me. This reminds me of the time when I, you know, had 50 red cows follow me. You know that feeling? And you're like, no, I don't, Apollo, because I'm not a god. But the other element of Apollo that I really enjoy is that you get to follow him as he becomes more empathetic and more human, as he starts to realize the struggles that humans have been facing and have to face every single day, that he has been a part of for his entire godly existence. He starts to sympathize with the demigods and humans as he realizes that he's been sending these people on impossible tasks for a really long time, and he doesn't like being sent on these impossible tasks at all. So he's like, man, I gotta work on that. Also, you get to see Apollo's banter with all the characters. It's just a lot of fun to see everyone kind of make fun of him and him have to take it. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. Again, Apollo is also bisexual, which I think is important to mention, and also really cool to have a main character that is openly and proud to be bisexual. We're also reading that in a middle grade situation, which I think is great. The action of this book was just as you would expect a Rick Riordan book to be. Fast-paced, action-packed, and stock full of humor. For whatever reason, his villains are both terrifying and hilarious, which I just think are just so great. We follow our characters one after another stumbling into seemingly more difficult and difficult situations and overcoming them, while also maintaining their wit and levity throughout the entire situation, which is just something I have mad respect about. I also just really liked seeing all the characters grow. Again, I obviously don't want to spoil anything because the end of the first book left with a bit of cliffhanger, but I will say we follow a variety of characters, you know, including Leo and Calypso and Apollo, and other characters experience a lot of growth, both internally but also within their powers themselves, kind of growing into who they are and their powers, which I think is really fun to see. I always love training sequences. I also wanted to shout out that there was a lot of new characters in this book that weren't in the first one who I really loved, including Emmy and Joe. I thought they were absolutely adorable and just so wonderful to see. They are the couple that runs the way station that Apollo and his friends have to stay at throughout this book. They are a lesbian couple, and they are like the sweetest, most hilarious couple that loves, again, to give Apollo a hard time. Basically, just everyone loves to give Apollo a hard time, and I live for it because it's just so freaking funny. We also see appearances from the Artemis Archers, which I thought was always really fun, or the Artemis Hunters, and overall, I just really felt like this book was a great installment to the series. It really continued on the story. Obviously, I feel like this is going to be 5 books, so this is kind of a middle book situation, but again, it really moved the plot forward. We got to hear more about the prophecy, and we kind of have a clear direction of where Apollo and his companions need to go in terms to save the world. The next book, I have the feeling we're even gonna have more cameos, which I'm very excited about. I absolutely love this world. I love the integration of Greek and Roman, again, but in a very creative and new way with these Roman emperors. It's always very fun to try to figure out who the Roman emperor is, because we kind of get hints and then it's revealed. I can't wait for the next book in this particular series. I can't wait to read this entire series. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm very interested to see how it's gonna end, because we are following a god, so I wonder what's gonna happen to Lester and other characters that I don't want to spoil anything. But like I said, this book series is just stock full of amazing and relatable and diverse characters that you absolutely love to follow, love to root for, and it's just so funny and fun and just so wonderful. I don't know, Rick Riordan's books just give me so much joy when I read them, and I will always read them. I don't care how old I am, I'm always gonna read them. They're just so great. So I ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Whew, that was long-winded. Alrighty guys, that is my book review of The Trials of Apollo, the Dark Prophecy Book 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if it was a little long-winded or a little all over the place. It is the second book, and I didn't want to spoil anything, so I tried to be vague but give you my general feelings. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another video soon. Goodbye!